YouTube land, Rival here. Thanks for stopping by. As you can see, we got something brand new for that ass today. We have the new Ultramar series from Chavez knives, built by Riate. These are basically a production version or a high-end production version. Don't call it a mid-tech. That was the 228. This is different than the 228. This is actually a bit smaller. And the one that we have today is the Liberation Street. He also has the Redención Street, which is a smaller version of the 228, which is a smaller version of the Redención. And we'll talk about how that kind of compares and works out. Unfortunately, I no longer have my 228 anymore, but we will talk about the size comparisons and things like that for those of you that are familiar. And then there is a third option that he's got besides the Redención and the Liberación. I forget which one that is, but it's a Warney, and it's basically the exact same thing with its tip cut off. We'll talk about that too. So, presentation, definitely an A for the cool foil wrap. You got your standard box, magnetic box, and you know, for a Chavez, that's one thing that we want to see right off the bat is that Chavez skull clip. So as you can tell, this is a skinny version of the 228. The 228 was actually about yay wide. It was very much a brick in your pocket. It had a wide blade, but the blade had a nice hollow grind, so it was usable. Interestingly enough, the blade length on that was 3 1/4, and the blade length on this is 3.3, so almost the same size. Biggest difference is going to be the flipper and the blade shape between this and the Redención. I'll put the full specs down below, but basically you got like a 3.3 inch blade, about 3 1/4 of actual cutting edge because there's a big old choil on there. You've got the full titanium all the way around. You're looking at like a 4 1/4 inch handle and an 8 1/2 inch overall package. So definitely join the Instagram page for Ramon Chavez. He has been posting like a day in advance when these are going to show up, and then these have been selling out, you know, within a few hours almost, it seems like. Blade HQ sold out real fast, and they had an option with carbon fiber. The rest of the world just gets this version where you've got the blacked out blade, either green or black micarta, as an insert, and then you've got this tie frame. So let's get into it. I mean, so you've got a black coated blade. The coating is tumbled very well. And, whoops, sorry guys, distraction. So like I said, we've got a DLC coated blade. The blade is tumbled. I'm trying to get a good... sorry, I wonder if there's like a smudge on my camera. Trying to get a good view. You can see it's got a nice working wash on it, so it's not going to mark up or mar up like if you had a full coated DLC that was like bright and shiny or polished or something like that. So this is actually going to hold up to wear really well. You've got a heavily blasted titanium frame. You've got the micarta insert here. Underneath the micarta insert, you've got a pair of screws that goes through. You can see there's the screw side for the receiving side. You've got a standard frame lock with a steel insert, pivot, bearings on the inside, and then again we've got a nice flipping blade. It's a thick blade stock. It's just over an 1/8 inch blade stock of S35 VN steel with a flat grind. I would have loved to have seen this with a hollow grind to give it, you know, more sliciness. As it is, it's I mean, it's a 1/4 inch blade with a flat grind. So it's thick. It's very comparable to a lot of ZTs. In fact, why don't we do that? Because I think a lot of you guys are going to wonder about its size. This being one of the more popular ZTs these days, the 0450, they're nearly identical in length, in blade length. This guy's a bit wider. You can see when I put one on top of the other, you've got about an 1/8 inch wider all the way around on the frame and on the blade. Other than that, it's very comparable. Oh, I mean, other than the fact that it's what, like 4 ounces, 4.5 ounces. So this thing is quite a bit heavier, but that's because it's a full titanium frame with a titanium backspacer and a big thick ass blade. The blade's actually as thick as something like, here's a ZTO 550, old school for those of you that remember these guys, but the blade stock is nearly identically thick. For that matter, the width, to give you an idea, I mean these are 1/8 inch thick slabs. The width is identical to a 0550, and the blade length is nearly identical to a 0550. You've just got a more compact, as in less wide frame. So, you know, on days where you don't need something super light, something under 3 ounces, because, you know, this is like, these are, I call these like basketball shorts blades, because I can wear them in a pair of basketball shorts and it doesn't weigh my pocket down or be obtrusive or anything. You know, days you want to carry a brick in your shorts, there you go. That sounded weird. But yeah, days you want to carry a brick of a knife, this is a good choice. I imagine it's going to stand up to hard use or good use just fine. This is more of an unboxing and a first impressions video. I literally just got this earlier today, so I can't speak to hard use, but I can speak to the brand. It's a Rayate knife. They do a very good job with heat treat. They do a very good job with fit and finish, and this is definitely no slouch. All the seams and everything feel really good. It looks and feels great. The flipping action is very good. The handle cutouts really fit your hand nicely. The only drawback I have about the handle is just that it is so wide for what I consider a smaller knife. You know, 3 1/4 inch blade knife. Not the biggest thing in the world, but the handle definitely makes it beefy. The only other thing that I don't like, I'm going to change like immediately, like probably as soon as I'm done recording this video. I'm going to go out and I'm going to fix this clip. I think to denote that this is the Ultramar series or the production series, this clip has a little bit of a downward flare here. On his customs, the clip just has a nice rounded tip. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to round just the tip, make the clip a little bit better. As far as initial impressions, this clip is very stiff, like real stiff. However, the original Chavez, the 228, was originally very stiff. So that broke in over time. I imagine this is going to break in well. I'll do an update at some point in time, I'm sure. For you lanyard guys, there's no lanyard hole, though I'm sure we can modify it in some way, shape, or form with like a hole through the side or something like that if you really had a hard-on for putting a lanyard on this thing, but not a big fan for knives like this. That's me personally. Yeah, I mean, I am impressed with the overall look and feel and quality. So compared to a 228, I mean, you're going to about double everything. This thing weighs 4 1/4, almost 4.5 ounces. The 228 weighed 7.5 ounces. The blade was almost 1.5 inches wide, where this is just under 1 inch wide. So there's a lot of big differences. This having a nice flipping tab on it, being Ramon's first flipper, I particularly like the design. It is very much the Redención handle, just shrunk up a little bit. For that matter, the other model that he's got has a very Wharncliffe design, and then the exact same handle with the front clipped off, something like that. So if you look them up, you'll see. It's an interesting take on a Wharncliffe. This was actually my favorite of the bunch, and luckily I was able to get my hands on one. I tried a couple other places. I think I tried Knife Center, and they sold out too fast, and Blade HQ sold out too fast. So get on Ramon's Instagram page so you get the heads up as to where and when he's posting. Yeah, I mean, that's about it for the overview of this blade. Overall, I think it's a winner. A little bit lumpy, S35 VN steel, but it flips really well. It invokes that Chavez style. It still has that skull clip, very badass. Flips very nice, made by Rayate. Price, $2.99. I would have loved to have seen these closer to $2.50, especially with just like the plain Jane look and the micarta insert, but what are you going to do? I think overall it's a winner. So that's what we got for you guys to take a peek at this week. Thanks for stopping by. Like and subscribe. Peace.